Namandaps, 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 namandaps. A religious life should not take pride in mere philosophy, dogma, or belief alone. It needs to enliven a person's daily life and to transform one's seemingly independent, isolated existence and make it one in the Buddha's great light and compassion. Realizing the truth of our interdependency, thereby promoting peace, giving comfort and encouragement, living responsibly. To be able to give thanks for each day's blessings, saying and living the Nembutsu, taking refuge, shelter in immeasurable light and wisdom and timeless life of compassion is a truly religious life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Okay, well, depending on when you're viewing this, good morning, good day, good evening, good life in the here and now, together in the life and light of Nembutsu. So I'd like to begin by thanking President Junko Nakagawa and Vice President Elaine Weston for arranging this special virtual Sangha service for the Buddhist Temple Marin community, to give me this opportunity to offer an aloha message as the supervising minister of Buddhist Temple Marin. And so for today, I just like to share some general reflections of the past. I kind of lost track of how many years that I've been in this role as the supervising minister here, but thinking back about those years during which we've lost a number of pioneer leaders of this community. And for today, I decided I'll wear this tie, which was shared by Catherine Shaw, which was amongst Larry Shaw's collection of neckties. And so in that sense, connecting the past and looking into the future, given the special circumstances of the COVID-19 virus pandemic, but more recently, the wildfires that are impacting this community. Looking at the weather maps, we're literally surrounded by flames in the mountains and forests in the Bay Area. So we're in this dilemma of having to shelter in place, staying at home, isolated as much as possible, but at the same time, family and friends in our community are having to evacuate, to move out of their places of safety and comfort. So you can't go in, you can't go out, you can't stay put. So we're in a real mess. But that would kind of encourage us to pay attention to our life and the meaning of this finite moment in eternity that we're experiencing as our life, and thereby come to sense the meaning of being alive, which I appreciate as the awakening of the Buddha Dharma in our lives, for which the Buddhist Temple of Marin was established to help those who are participating in this community, in this Sangha, this gathering of people who come together to encourage each other on the path of awakening. And so when we use that metaphor of a path, and that would suggest that we're heading in a certain direction. So I thought I'd begin by sharing an acronym that I'm not sure that I've ever had occasion to share here, but that's one of my gimmicks of my ministry, is using acronyms. And so I thought I'd begin by sharing an acronym as far as what is the goal of our path of awakening. The goal of Buddhism, as I kind of feel it to be, GOAL, is to awaken to gratitude, openness, acceptance, and liberation. So this is the goal for which the Sangha was established, to help all who are participating or who are walking on this path of awakening towards realizing gratitude, openness of heart and mind, realizing our connections, and accepting the finite nature of our existence, impermanence. But that becomes the basis of liberation. Spiritual liberation outside of what we might describe as our ego-centered shells that we are trapped in, we're isolated in. But opening up our hearts and minds to the reality of our oneness, which the COVID-19 is surely clearly showing us, that we don't exist in isolation. We are definitely impacting each other. So as a result, we need to be responsible. And so we have the protocols of trying to keep our hands as clean as possible, wearing masks, maintaining physical distance as expression of our responsibility to each other. Not a sense of losing our freedom. When we talk about freedom in Buddhism, we're not talking about a physical or a social type of limitation. We're talking about opening up our minds to realize the truth that we are in fact responsible to each other because we don't exist alone. So I don't understand people who are feeling that their rights and liberties are being limited as a result of the pandemic protocols. So that is how I hope we can appreciate the meaning of having a Sangha, a community of people who share that sense of purpose, who have this basic goal in living with that awareness of the direction our spiritual, religious consciousness helps us to realize by hearing the Dharma, hearing the teachings of the Buddha, or we could say reciting and receiving the heart of Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, which is the affirmation of the oneness of the finite, mortal, or as we say, foolish beings that we are, that are sustained by and embraced by immeasurable light and life. That is the life that we are given the opportunity to wake up to experience, not as a belief or as a concept, but as a sense of being, SOB, to sense of being alive within that oneness, that sense of oneness that we share with all beings. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Buddhist Temple Marin Sangha for engaging me in their process towards working towards the goal and sharing that goal with all beings. Because Awakening in Buddhism is contingent upon everyone being able to be liberated from the world of delusion and suffering and to realize the peace of oneness and gratitude. And this is, for the past several years, been my enjoyment to come to this place of the Buddhist Temple of Marin's Community Hall, or Dharma Hall. But what makes it a Dharma Hall is not the place, the physical structure, but it is the space of consciousness, of awareness that we share. That spirit of Namo Amida Butsu, that we come together offering encouragement to each other, that we're all in this together, that we all share this goal. And I hope that goal will continue to be shared for generations to come, beyond cultures, beyond genders, beyond generations, beyond nationality or ethnicity, or I would even encourage beyond beliefs, but something that we all share in common as sensitive, concerned human beings. So whether being Buddhist or not Buddhist, I don't think is the issue. The question is, to what extent have we realized the real goal of our life that we share in common with all beings? So that will be my aloha message for the Buddhist Temple of Marin. And on that basis, I'll conclude with the acronym for aloha. ALOHA. Actively living, open-hearted awareness. This is the spirit I would hope that the BTM Sangha can take to heart and continue to persevere in the midst of the challenges of the pandemic, in the midst of the challenges of a diminishing institutional form. But it's in that respect, the temple, the place of our being, is not a physical place, but it's rather a spiritual space within us that will continue to sustain us throughout however long we may continue to exist in the physical form. But realize that it's what's going to draw us over into the universal, immeasurable life that is the spirit of Namo Amida Butsu. So wherever we're saying the Nembutsu, regardless of it, wherever the place may be, that is where the Sangha lives. So with that, I'll conclude with this closing meditation. We have gathered to record this spiritual, virtual Sangha service of the Buddhist Temple of Marin, to once again express our gratitude in the Nembutsu, humbly joining our hands in Gassho. May the scent of incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered remind us of the living energy of the Dharma. May the lights that burn brightly upon the altar awaken us to the immeasurable light of wisdom that transforms the darkness of ignorance to enlightenment, suffering to joy, conflicts to peace, complaints to gratitude. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Okay, well, thank you. As we say, stay safe, stay sane, take care of each other, and continue to live in the oneness of the Nembutsu. Aloha.